quickly cutting in before the beginning of this video, I forgot to mention in the video what I will be doing with winning replays. Currently, I'm still not sure. I do want to use some of them for a video, or at least to showcase some of them in some way, but I can't guarantee that I will use all of them because 10 winners is a lot, and of course there are also 15 players who did the top 3 damage of each tier, which are also notable. So I'm not sure how many of the videos I'm going to be able to use, or if I will use them at all, but we'll see. But onto the video. Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking about the results of the challenge, how it sort of went, of course choosing the winners, and then going to be talking about the next challenge. So I won't delay, I'll just get right into some of the stats and then very quickly choose the winners. So in this challenge, over the course of 4 weeks, there were a total of 169 entries with almost 60 different players playing. So of course each player can submit up to 5 entries, so there were almost 3 entries on average per player. So for different servers, NA had 17 players entering, and being one of the smaller servers, it makes sense. APAC was similar with 18. Total number of entries from those NA players was 48, and total number from Asia players was 55. EU is a bit bigger server, so there were a few more players playing, so 25 with 67 total entries. In terms of each tiers, so we could play in different tiers for the challenge. There were some certain tanks that stood out as the most popular. For tier 6, the Basoto, SU-100Y and Panzer IV Schmalturm were the most popular choices, with 3 to 4 replays of each submitted. In tier 7 it was clear cut. The IS-2 shielded had a ton of replays in that tank, and just way more than any other vehicle. In tier 8 the most was T-49s, both the Fearless and the regular version, in total 6 replays. Surprisingly, the Jagdpanther II, Charlemagne and WZ-121FT. In tier 9, of course, T-92E1, not too much surprise there, Jagdtiger as well, T-30 and Cobra, which was a little bit surprising for me at least. And in tier 10, 114 SP2, definitely not one I expected to be played a lot for this challenge, but it was. And the 907 probably had the most replays, and the Batchat 25T as well was up there as one of the most played. But those are the stats. For now, I will show the total entries, and you can also see here at the top I've sort of cordoned off the top 3 replays. These are the players in the top 3 damage for each tier, who will be getting 1,200 gold for each of their entered replays, and that's just for getting top damage, something I added later in the challenge to sort of... There's something small for, of course, the highest damage replays. But I'm going to be basically choosing by random number. You can see here they're listed from 1 to however many there are per tier. For tier 6 and 7, there are 25 replays. So I'll just be choosing by random number generator. So, of course, there will also be 2 entries per tier that will be chosen, for a total of 10 winners in the challenge. So 5 and 16 will be chosen for winners for tier 6. So number 5 will be this player here with 3,339 damage, and 16 will be this player here with 2,847 damage for tier 6. Now I will reset it and cut to tier 7. So you'll see I have highlighted the winners' names, Burke and Clause72. I'll be contacting them on Discord, and I have taken out their names from every other tier, which gives other tiers, well, now fewer entrants, so the chances have slightly increased. Now for tier 7, I'll be putting in 23 and choosing 2 winners once again. So here we go, number 15 and 5. So the winners for these will be _Ame from NA, and number 15 will be Rolero from EU. I'll also be contacting them on Discord, and I will reset once again. So now moving on to the tier 8 winners, I have taken out the names of previous winners, and of course Ame did place in the top 3 of tier 9 and 10, so I did remove the name, but they're still going to receive their gold. But now moving on to tier 8, which has 35 entrants. So once again, choosing the numbers, and I'm going to randomly stop here. Number 13 and number 11. That's not the right page. So number 13 and number 11. Number 11 is Tasteline from EU. It's going to be a winner. And then number 13, Goengo XXX from NA, another winner. So once again, I will reset for tier 9. So now we will do tier 9, and in tier 9 there are 38 entrants. So choosing from 38 two numbers, number 19 and number 16. Okay, so number 19 is Tempest from NA, is one winner, and number 16 will be Morinka from EU, will be the other tier 9 winner. So again, I will go reset and do tier 10. Now finally moving to tier 10, the last two winners for probably the most high stakes tier of the game. Once again, choosing two winners from the random numbers, and number 9 and 14. So number 9 is here, Makachev from NA, will be one of the winners, and then I believe number 14, which is Hisni Hassin from APAC server. So that's all the 10 winners for this challenge. I will be contacting them and posting these winners on Discord, of course, but that is it for the winners. I'll now quickly talk about some improvements for the next challenge and basically news for the challenge. So this challenge happened for 4 weeks. I did do some feedback on Discord talking about sort of what your opinions are of it, whether it should be lowered to 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. Most people said 4 weeks is perfect. However, I feel it is still a bit long. A lot of players wanted 2 weeks, so I think maybe 3 weeks is the perfect in between. For future challenges as well, the damage requirement will be lower. I also collected feedback on what players thought of the damage requirement. A lot of players said it's too easy, mostly from the better players. A lot of players said it's sort of in the middle. This was on a slider, by the way, from 1 to 10, so a lot of players were around 4 to 6. And then only not the most players said it's too hard, and every single player who submitted a response on the survey said, I think I can submit an entry for this challenge. So in the future the challenge will be a bit easier, not too much, but there will also be some changes to requirements, not requiring you to play 1 in every tier from tier 6 till 10. In the future it will be up to 5 times in any of these tiers, but probably there'll be something in place like you have to do each entry in a different tank. And by the way, Wargaming has approved for me to completely replace the usual giveaways with challenges, because challenges are more interesting. They give players something to do, something to work towards. There can be better rewards in challenges such as the XM66F or the 114 SP2, which are usually completely not achievable by the regular giveaway rewards, and also it's just a bit more interesting than the usual, oh, put your name down and you have a random chance to win a tank. And then finally, in terms of, well, what will change for rewards? Probably for the next challenge there will not be any change to the rewards list. However, I did collect feedback for what players will be interested. For example, the T95E6, VK90, T22 medium, 260, the BZ176 Lorraine, Kampfpanzer MBT, those all came up as suggestions for tanks that people would be interested in having as rewards in the future. And of course, old 5.5 tanks and Battle Pass tanks. So in the future, I will definitely consider changing the rewards list But for the next challenge, it will probably remain the same, of course, just because this first one was sort of a test, and I'm ironing out some of the issues. And some tanks like the Waffenträger were requested. Unfortunately, that tank is completely not allowed to be given away. I have asked about tanks like that, the AE Phase 1, Kampfpanzer 07PE and 116F3, also the Smasher and Annihilator, but unfortunately those are off the table. But yep, that will be it for this challenge. There will be more news for future challenges in the future. I will post it both on Discord and on the YouTube channel. But that is it for this one. Thanks all for watching and participating in the challenge as well.